Alright guys, it is chest day, and today I'm going to go over upper chest. Basically the main things that I like to do for upper chest are just straight bar bench press with an incline, which will really help it be on the upper chest. I don't like, you can kind of see the angle I have my bench at. I don't like a huge angle, mainly because it starts putting it up on the shoulders, and I really want to be doing it on the chest. I'll do shoulders on shoulder day. It's going to end up being a little bit of shoulders and a little bit of triceps. You can't really help that, but reverse grip does put a lot more on the triceps, but I'm gonna probably do that anyway. Like always, I want to start with the lift that puts the most stress and weight and I guess emphasis on that muscle I can, and I'll fine tune later. Reverse grip, as you can guess, is a lot harder, and so I'll do it almost like I was doing bench, but just on an incline. Try to keep the weight up here. I have not done incline bench I've probably done it in the last couple years, but I mean hardly at all. And so it's always fun when you start a new lift and you realize that the stabilization alone is like, you haven't done it in so long that the stabilization it feels different than it should. It should feel really solid, and you're like, my body's not really certain of where that groove is. It's supposed to keep the weight in, so that's interesting. But I'm going to try to do this, and as always, I'm going to try to do 4. If I can't get 4, it's too heavy. If I get over 6, it's too light. So hopefully I can get 4. This is going to be pushing myself, as always. I think you guys can tell I try to push myself really hard. I don't put a ton of sets in. I put a ton of effort into the sets, and just try to lift heavy, and with high intensity, as I've said before, there's a saying I think bears some credence: intensity equals immensity, and I think it's just it's somewhat true. Like, trying hard, putting tons of effort in to a small amount of reps, relatively you're going to be piling on more weight than you would otherwise. That is, I think, more along the way to go to get quicker strength and size. And then of course, I want to get into more details on this, covering more nutritional side, but we're just covering the basic lifts. Incline bench is a great upper chest lift. The upper chest, as muscles go, especially the chest, I don't know if you can tell on almost anybody, the upper chest is so much smaller than the lower. There's tons more muscle here, so you're almost always weaker up here. But at the same time, you can get you want to stay proportionate, and if you're exercising, you're actually starting to get mass in your lower chest, and you don't have the upper chest, it won't look right. And the upper chest, your collarbone's right here, you don't tend to carry a lot of fat. You can get just the slightest bit of muscle there, it'll look really defined, and it's that little bit of effort I think is well worth it. From the front right there, and you'll build up mass up more towards your shoulder. But it helps just someone be well-rounded, and there just appears to be better. And it's a pretty strong muscle, as muscles go, just relative to the lower chest. It's a lot weaker. Anyway, let's get into this thing. Let's see if I can make this happen. I'm hoping, like I said, I hope I get 4. If not, then I won't, and that's the way it goes. It's not that big a deal. Oh boy. Felt that in my shoulder. Okay, so when I did that, I'm just gonna be honest and real with you guys. Because I think it'll be hopefully insightful and learning to you guys, but I felt a little pop in my shoulder, and I think the reason why is I know I do arch my back a lot, but I want to emphasize, I said I didn't want to get into form, but I do want to emphasize this. This is coming up. It's a real part of my lift right now today, is you really want to have your back arched. You want to be pulling your shoulders down and back, and you almost want to be flexing your lats. That will help keep the weight on your chest and off your shoulders. If it's on your shoulders, you are so prone to injury from incline or regular bench. And generally that form, that solid form of your shoulders back and pulled down, your lats flexed, your shoulder blades kind of like pulled together, you should feel really solid when you do that, and it will help you lift more. Your foundation you'll be more like a spring in a sense, especially when you're doing something like bench. It's almost 100% essential to avoid injury and to lift to your max potential. So I think I have to do it again, and I want to pay attention as I'm going. But I think that I think my shoulder blades became rolled forward somehow, and they need to be rolled back. And I think some of it could have been my elbows. My elbows, I think, should be just under my wrist or even slightly on the inside. You don't want your elbows up like that. You want them in. You want that tight. You almost want to be grabbing the bar and like you're trying to bend it. You want to be flexing it in. That pulls your elbows in and gives you really good stabilization. So yeah, I'm talking this through because I think it is useful information, and it's just a real part of this lift that I'm experiencing right now. So I'm gonna try to do that again. I'm gonna use the same weight. I don't think what I felt was a bad thing, but if you guys feel something like that, if you feel a muscle popping or a tendon or some joint that does not feel right, I really suggest stopping, because those little things, if you stop right off, you're probably going to catch it. You're going to use Google, find a resource, make sure you're doing it right. If something's popping, or if you feel some kind of tendon strain or something like that, those things take forever to heal, and it is so worth the 5 minutes it can take to do some research to make sure that you're doing it well. Can save your butt. Anyway, that's the little speech on that. But I'm gonna try this again and see if it's too much weight. That's all right. Like I'm gonna get farther faster if I. Okay, so I took off 50 pounds. I'm not, like I said, I'm not really sure now, because I was really focusing on form. What happened to my shoulder? Right now, my theory is simply that I have been avoiding shoulders for the most part because I pulled the rear of my delt. I think it was doing pull-ups. I think I hyperextended it and stretched something out in the back. So I've really been avoiding them, and I have a feeling that I have a deficiency there, which where proportionate to my other muscles, my shoulders are probably too weak, and that may be creating a problem. And I think I might need to build up slower. And like I said, the more the incline the bench is, the more it does emphasize shoulders. And I think even though my bench press is okay, like you guys saw me, I did 6 reps of 315, I think, which is a fairly okay bench press. It's nothing necessarily to brag about, but it's a good solid bench where I'm starting to go on the incline, and even though that bench with a higher weight caused me no problem, as I'm going up, it's putting more weight on my shoulder, and that's a good reason why I'm feeling it in my shoulder, I think, combined with the fact that I know they're underworked. And it's another thing emphasizing why a well-rounded physique, or not missing a body part, whether that's skipping leg day or whatever it is. I think you need to be growing together. You can get into weird problems where if your one side of your forearm even is stronger and getting worked out more than your other side, pulls on tendons weird, and you can get really long-term issues from something like that. You really want to stay halfway well-rounded, and that's even why, like, I think as much as I have, you hear me say reverse grip a lot. You will if you haven't already, because I think there's certain grips people usually use for things like curls. You almost always do curls this way. I like doing them both ways. That's part of the reason it helps emphasize different parts of your arm, and you will look better for it, and it will help you avoid injury. Anyway, I'm gonna try this again with 50 pounds less, and so this is 225 or whatever that's worth, and see if I can get how many reps I can get. For now, maybe I will focus on more reps because my body seems to not like going higher. I need to work up and build up that strength. So I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna see how this feels, and then go from there. But talking out loud with my theories, so I think it's just thinking through this stuff. Hopefully, will be beneficial for other people. But here we go. What's going on? Let's try it. I'm gonna try a really close grip for fun. All right, guys. So that was a little bit interesting. Like I said, some of the stuff I'm learning as I go. But I do think it is a good reminder, just that if you're lifting and something doesn't feel right, it's probably in our best interest when that happens to stop and figure out exactly what's going on, because continuing and even though you may be able to push through, you always want to ask yourself, what's the goal? What are we trying to achieve here? If it's size and strength, there's a good chance if something's pulled, recovery can take extremely long time, and there's a good chance that by continuing to push, you're gonna hurt yourself, and your goal's gonna be farther off than it would have been otherwise, even if you didn't lift that day. Anyway, so that's basically what I'm gonna have to go through here, is find some basic resources to help me figure out what's going on. Probably gonna just start with Google searches and probably try some other things myself. I think, I could basically be that I have a disproportionate muscle and strength in one area and not the other, and it could be, encouraging my shoulders to be put in a position that is not healthy, not good. Another is flexibility, could be both, but I need to look into that and have to stop. So, if I continue, I'm going to be making things worse instead of better. So anyway, this is me, I guess, being real, and also hopefully this is a reminder of some of that fundamental thoughts of lifting. I think that this is one of them. It's pretty much inevitable that someone will find themselves in this place if they're lifting or pushing themselves. We're trying to be extreme, and along with extreme, there's the other side. You have to have intentional boundaries even on something that's extreme. And I think a part of knowing what the boundaries are is what you're doing going to stop you from reaching your goal? Is it going to be pushing you towards that or taking you away? And anyway, so thanks you guys for watching. I'll have more of these, and get huge, get ripped, get strong. I'll talk to you later. Have a good night.